Don't start your bikes. An 8-year-old boy's scream shattered the Texas night, tears streaming, legs shaking, running straight toward 8 Hell's Angels like his life depended on it. They laughed, then they checked their motorcycles. The laughter died. Someone had sliced every brake line. 8 bikes, 8 death traps. One more minute, and 8 men would have ridden onto that highway and never come home. The boy had just saved their lives. But here's what nobody expected: the men who wanted those bikers dead were watching. And now they knew exactly who ruined their plan. An 8-year-old witness, a $50,000 bounty, and a mother who would kill to protect her son. Subscribe now. Stay until the end. Drop your city below. I want to see how far this story travels. Ethan and Riley saw the man's hands first. Black gloves, moving too fast, too nervous. The boy pressed his face against the truck window, his breath fogging the glass. His mother was inside Murphy's diner working her second shift. She told him to stay put. Do homework, don't cause trouble. But Ethan couldn't look away. The man in the gray hoodie crouched beside a Harley Davidson. He pulled something from his pocket. Metal, sharp, a cutting tool. Ethan's stomach dropped. He knew what that was. Wham! Order up, table 9. Sarah Riley grabbed 2 plates of chicken fried steak and moved fast. Her feet were killing her. Her back screamed with every step. But she kept smiling, because smiling meant tips, and tips meant keeping the electricity on for 1 more month. $47,000 in debt. That number haunted her dreams. Her phone buzzed on the counter. Ethan. She grabbed it between orders. Mom, there's a man outside. What man, honey? He's doing something bad to the motorcycles. Sarah glanced through the window. 8 Harleys sat in the parking lot. Their owners, leather vests, patches, Hell's Angels, occupied the corner booth. They'd been polite. Good tippers, actually. Bad how? He's cutting them. Under the wheels. Like that video at school. When cars get hurt and people die. Sarah's heart stopped. Ethan, stay in the truck. Do not move. I'm coming. She dropped the plates. Didn't care. Just ran. The man moved to the 5th motorcycle. Ethan counted in his head. 5 down, 3 to go. The bikers inside were laughing about something. They had no idea. His father's voice echoed in his memory. Letters from Afghanistan, words his mother read to him every night. Real courage isn't being unafraid, son. Real courage is doing what's right when you're terrified. Ethan was terrified. His hands shook. His legs felt like jelly. These were Hell's Angels. Scary men, dangerous men. Everyone said so, but they were going to die. The man finished the 6th bike. Ethan kicked open the truck door. So he ran, his lungs burned. His untied shoelaces slapped the pavement. Tears blurred his vision. But he ran. Don't start your bikes. The bikers turned. 8 faces, hard eyes, tattoos, scars. Please don't start them. A massive man with a braided gray beard stepped forward. Gunner, president of the Austin chapter for 12 years. He'd seen wars. He'd buried friends. He'd never seen anything like this. A crying kid running at him full speed. The hell you screaming about, boy? There's a man. Ethan pointed toward the shadows. He cut your bikes. I saw him. He's right there. Gunner's eyes snapped to where the boy pointed. A figure in gray, frozen, staring, then running. Razor Hawk, get him. 2 bikers exploded into motion. Razor, former Army Ranger, 46 years old, still fast as hell, closed the distance in seconds. Hawk was right behind him, phone already out snapping photos. But the man had backup. A black SUV screeched around the corner. The door flew open. Gray hoodie dove inside. Tires screamed. Gone. Got the plates, Hawk shouted. Texas tags, Victor Romeo, November 427. Gunner wasn't listening. He was on his knees beside the first Harley, his calloused fingers tracing the brake line. Wet. Cut clean. Oh my God. Cole, the VP, dropped beside him. How bad? Gunner moved to the 2nd bike. Cut. 3rd bike. Cut. 4th, 5th, 6th. All of them. They got every single one. Cole's face went white. If we'd hit Highway 71 tonight, we'd be dead. All of us. Silence fell over the group. 8 men, 8 bikes, 8 funerals that almost happened. Sarah burst through the diner door. Ethan! She saw her son surrounded by bikers, and her heart nearly exploded. She shoved through them, grabbed him, pulled him against her chest. Baby, are you okay? Are you hurt? What were you thinking? Ma'am? Gunner's voice cut through her panic. She looked up at the giant standing over her. Your son just saved our lives, and Sarah blinked. What? Someone cut our brake lines, every bike. We'd have crashed tonight, died tonight. Gunner's hard eyes softened as he looked at Ethan. This boy saw it. He warned us. He saved us. Sarah's arms tightened around her son. I saw him, Mom. Ethan's voice was muffled against her shoulder. I remembered what Dad said about being brave. Sarah felt tears sliding down her cheeks. David, 4 years dead, still teaching their son. 15 minutes later, red and blue lights flooded the parking lot. Detective Maria Cortez stepped out of her sedan. 23 years on the force. Nothing surprised her anymore. Until tonight. You're telling me an 8-year-old witnessed an attempted mass murder? That's exactly what I'm telling you. Gunner's arms were crossed. Kid's a hero. Cortez crouched in front of Ethan. Hey there, I'm Detective Cortez. Can you tell me what you saw? Ethan nodded slowly. Then he talked. Gray jacket, black gloves, cable cutter. He was specific about that. The man moved left to right, started with the bike closest to the building, took approximately 90 seconds per motorcycle, checked over his shoulder every 15 seconds. Cortez stopped writing. Kid, how do you know all this? I count things, I notice things. My brain works that way. Sarah spoke up. He has autism. He sees patterns and details that most people miss. Cortez finished. She looked at Ethan with new respect. You've got a gift, son. Tonight, that gift saved lives. An hour later, the parking lot finally emptied. Sarah sat in her truck, Ethan asleep beside her, completely drained from the adrenaline crash. A knock on her window. Cole stood outside, scar across his jaw, eyes sharp. You should get home. Rest. I can't stop shaking. That's normal. It'll pass. Sarah looked at him. Is it over? Cole didn't answer right away. That pause told her everything. The guy who cut our lines, he saw your son. He knows there's a witness. IS flooded Sarah's veins. What are you saying? I'm saying keep your doors locked. Watch your surroundings. Anything feels wrong, call me. He handed her a card. Day or night. You think someone might come after Ethan? I think we don't know yet. Probably nothing. His jaw tightened. But probably isn't good enough when it comes to a kid. Sarah's hands trembled so badly she nearly dropped the card. This couldn't be real. This couldn't be happening. They had nothing to do with any of this. Go home, Cole said softly. Lock up tight. We'll be in touch. He walked away. Sarah sat frozen watching him go, her mind racing with terrible possibilities. 3 days of hell. Sarah barely slept. Every sound made her jump. Every shadow looked like a threat. She checked the locks 15 times a night, watched Ethan like her life depended on it. Because maybe it did. Thursday night, 9:47 p.m. Her phone rang. Unknown number. She almost didn't answer. Almost. Hello. Silence, then a voice, distorted, robotic, inhuman. Your boy has pretty eyes. Would be a shame if he couldn't see anymore. The phone slipped from Sarah's fingers. It hit the floor, still talking, still making threats, but Sarah couldn't hear anymore because her heart was exploding and the room was spinning and she couldn't breathe. Mom! Ethan stood in the doorway. Pajamas, bare feet, terrified. Mom, what's wrong? Sarah lunged for her phone and called Cole. He answered before the first ring finished. What happened? Someone called. They threatened Ethan. They said, where are you? Home. Lock everything. Don't open for anyone. 15 minutes. Click. Sarah grabbed Ethan and pulled him into the bathroom. No windows, one door. She locked it, sat on the floor, held her son. Mom, you're scaring me. I know, baby, I know. Just stay quiet. Stay with me. They sat in the dark, listening to Sarah's heartbeat pound against the silence. 12 minutes later, engines, loud, getting closer, then pounding on the front door. Sarah, it's Cole, open up. She crept out of the bathroom, checked the peephole. Cole, Gunner, 4 other bikers behind them. She opened the door. Get your stuff, both of you. You're coming with us, now. I don't understand. We found out who cut the lines. Cole's face was granite. Victor Salazar, enforcer for the Iron Serpents. Rival club, real bad people. What do they want? Right now they want your son gone. Dead witness, no testimony. Sarah's legs buckled. Gunner caught her. Easy, we got you. I can't, my job, Ethan's school. None of that matters if you're dead. Cole's voice was harsh, but his eyes were desperate. Please, trust us. Let us protect you. Sarah looked at Ethan clutching his backpack, his face pale. She thought about David. What would he do? He would protect his son, no matter what. Okay, we'll come. The safe house was 30 miles out. A ranch, high fences, security cameras, armed guards at the gate. Club property, Gunner explained. Nobody knows about it. You're invisible here. Sarah stepped out of Cole's truck and looked around. Open land, horses in the distance. A small cottage with lights glowing warm. It's safe, Cole said. That's all that matters. Ethan tugged her sleeve. Mom, look. A woman walked toward them, gray hair, kind and smile, mid-60s. I'm Maggie, Gunner's wife. She crouched to Ethan's level. And you must be the brave young man everyone's talking about. Ethan nodded shyly. You like hot chocolate. Another nod. Come on then, I just made a fresh batch. She took Ethan's hand and led him toward the cottage. Sarah watched them go, her chest tight with emotions she couldn't name. She's a retired child psychologist, Cole said quietly. Worked with kids on the spectrum for 30 years. Ethan's in good hands. Sarah finally let herself breathe. That night, Sarah sat on the porch. Couldn't sleep. Too many thoughts. Too much fear. Footsteps behind her. Gunner lowered himself into the next chair with a grunt. Getting old's a bitch. Despite everything, Sarah laughed. Thank you for all of this. You don't thank us. We thank you. Gunner stared at the stars. That boy of yours, he's something special. He sees things differently. He sees things right. Most people looked at that parking lot and saw nothing. Ethan saw danger. He acted. That's not common. That's rare. Sarah was quiet for a moment. His father was like that. Saw things others missed. Acted when others froze. Her voice cracked. He died doing it. Afghanistan. 4 years ago. Gunner nodded slowly. I lost my son 15 years back. Drunk driver. Tommy was 19. I'm sorry. After that, I wanted to die too. Couldn't see the point. He turned to look at her, but then I realized I got people who need me. My wife, my brothers, this club. No, he paused. You got people who need you too. I know, that's what scares me. What happens to Ethan if something happens to me? Nothing's going to happen to you, not while you're under our protection. You can't promise that. No, but I can promise we'll die trying to keep that promise. Sarah looked at this hard man, this biker, this stranger who owed her nothing. Why do you care so much? Because your boy saved our lives. In our world, that means something. It means everything. Gunner stood slowly. Get some rest. Tomorrow's going to be long. He walked inside. Sarah stayed on the porch watching the stars, wondering how her life had spun so far out of control. 2 days later, Cole walked into the kitchen with murder in his eyes. We found out who ordered the hit. Sarah set down her coffee. Who? Cole pulled out his phone, showed her a photo, silver hair, expensive suit, perfect smile, the kind of man you see on magazine covers. Harrison Blake, property developer, one of the richest men in Texas. Sarah frowned. A businessman ordered a hit on a biker gang. We own land he wants. Our clubhouse sits on 3 prime acres. He's tried to buy it for years. We keep saying no. Last month he offered $2 million. We said no. So he decided to kill you all. With us dead, the property goes up for auction. He buys it for pennies. Sarah felt sick. All of this, the threats against my son and because of real estate, money makes people do evil things. What are you going to do? Cole's eyes went cold. Whatever it takes, Mom. That night, another call, same distorted voice. We know where you are. The ranch won't save you. Nothing will save you. Sarah didn't panic this time. She recorded it, sent it to Cole. His response came in 30 seconds. They're bluffing. They don't know where you are. If they did, they wouldn't call. They'd come. How can you be sure? Because that's what I would do. Small comfort, but comfort nonetheless. Day 5 at the ranch. Ethan had found his rhythm. Mornings with Maggie learning to cook. Afternoons with a retired mechanic named Dutch learning about engines. Evenings playing chess with Gunnar, who never let him win, but taught him something new every game. He's happy here, Maggie told Sarah. Really happy. He's never had this. A community. People who accept him. He's got it now. Sarah watched her son laughing with Dutch over some engine part grease on his cheeks, joy in his eyes. When was the last time she'd seen him this free? Day 7. Cole burst through the door. We got a problem. Everyone gathered. Gunnar, Razor, Hawk, the inner circle. Someone's feeding information to the Iron Serpents. They knew about the memorial ride. They knew exactly when we'd be at that diner. A rat? Gunnar's voice was dangerous. Worse, a cop. Silence. Who? Cole pulled up another photo. Middle-aged man, police uniform. Sergeant Dean Walker, 15 years on the force, gambling debts up to his eyeballs. Iron Serpents have been paying them off. Sarah felt her stomach turn. A cop. They have a cop. Had. He doesn't know we know yet. Cole looked at Gunnar. We can use this. Gunnar nodded slowly. Set the trap. Let's see what this rat does when he smells cheese. Sarah cornered Cole that night. What does this mean for Ethan? It means we're getting closer. Every day we learn more. Every day the noose tightens. And Harrison Blake? Still untouchable for now, but that's going to change. How? Cole looked at her for a long moment. Your son isn't just a witness to the brake lines. He's the thread that unravels everything. His testimony connects Salazar to the Iron Serpents, the Serpents to Walker, Walker to Blake. He's 8 years old. I know, and I wish to God there was another way. But right now, Ethan is the only thing standing between Harrison Blake and getting away with attempted murder. Sarah's blood ran cold. They'll never stop hunting him. Not until Blake is in prison or in the ground. Then make it happen. Whatever it takes, whoever you have to become. Sarah's voice shook with fury. Protect my son. End this. Cole held her gaze. I will. I promise. He walked away. Sarah stood alone in the hallway, trembling with rage and fear. Somewhere out there, a billionaire wanted her child dead, and she was trapped in a war she never asked to join. The next morning came too fast. Sarah hadn't slept. Every time she closed her eyes, she heard that distorted voice. Your boy has pretty eyes. She sat at the kitchen table, coffee going, cold in her hands, staring at nothing. You look terrible. She looked up. Cole stood in the doorway. Thanks. That's exactly what every woman wants to hear. I meant you need rest. I need my son safe. Rest can wait. Cole sat across from her. We're setting the trap today for Walker. The cop, the rat. Cole's voice was hard. Gunnar's feeding him false information. A fake meeting location. If Walker passes it to the Iron Serpents, we'll know for sure. And then what? Then we have leverage. Sarah set down her coffee. Leverage for what? To get to Blake. Walker's the weak link. He breaks, he talks, Blake goes down. You make it sound simple. It's not, but it's a start. Ethan appeared in the doorway, rubbing his eyes. Mom, is it breakfast time? Sarah forced a smile. Well, yeah, baby, come sit down. Cole stood. I'll let Maggie know. He left. Sarah watched him go, then turned to her son. Did you sleep okay? Ethan nodded. I dreamed about Dad. Sarah's heart clenched. Yeah. What happened in the dream? He said he was proud of me for being brave. Ethan looked at her with those serious eyes. Do you think he really is proud of me? Sarah pulled him into her arms. I know he is, baby. I know it. She held him tight, trying not to cry, trying to be strong. But inside, she was breaking. The trap was set for noon. Gunnar made a phone call to a contact he knew talked to Walker. Casual conversation. Mention a meeting at an abandoned warehouse on the east side. Important club business. Very hush-hush. If Walker's dirty, he'll pass it on, Razor explained to Sarah. Iron serpents will show up expecting to ambush us. But you won't be there. Hell no, we'll be watching, waiting to see who takes the bait. Sarah nodded slowly. And if they don't show, then Walker's clean and we're back to square one. He's not clean, Cole said flatly. I'd bet my life on it. Gunnar looked at him. You might have to. The hours crawled by. Sarah tried to keep busy, helped Maggie with lunch, watched Ethan play chess with Dutch, pretended everything was normal when nothing was normal and might never be normal again. At 11:45, Cole's phone buzzed. He read the message. His jaw tightened. They're coming. 4 SUVs heading toward the warehouse. Gunnar smiled. It wasn't a nice smile. Got him. What now? Sarah asked. Now we document everything. Photos, videos, license plates, build a case so tight Walker can't wiggle out. And then you arrest him. Cole and Gunnar exchanged glances. Something like that, Gunnar said. Sarah didn't push. She didn't want to know. 2 hours later, Hawk returned with a laptop full of surveillance footage. 4 vehicles, 16 iron serpents, all armed. He pulled up photos on the screen. And look who's coordinating from a block away. Sarah leaned in. A police cruiser parked in an alley. Inside, a man in uniform talking on a phone. Sergeant Dean Walker. Son of a bitch, Razor muttered. He's not just feeding them info. He's running the operation. Gunnar's face was stone. Get everything to Cortez. Anonymous tip. Let's see what she does with it. You trust her, Cole asked. I trust she hates dirty cops more than she hates us. Cole nodded and pulled out a burner phone. Sarah watched them work these men she'd been taught to fear, operating like a military unit. Precise, disciplined, focused. They were going to war, and her son was the reason why. That night, Sarah found Ethan on the porch staring at the stars. Can't sleep, she asked. I keep thinking about the bad men. Sarah sat beside him. What about them? Why do they want to hurt us? We didn't do anything wrong. How do you explain evil to an 8-year-old? Sarah wondered. How do you make sense of something senseless? Sometimes people do bad things for money, or power, or because they're scared of getting caught. She put her arm around him. But there are more good people than bad people. That's what your dad always said. Is Cole a good person? The question surprised her. Why do you ask? He watches you a lot when you're not looking. Ethan's voice was matter of fact. He watches you like Dad used to watch you. Sarah's cheeks flushed. He's helping protect us, honey. I know, but he also likes you. Ethan looked up at her. Is that okay, that he likes you? Sarah didn't know how to answer, so she just held her son closer and watched the stars. 3 days passed. Detective Cortez received the anonymous tip. Internal Affairs opened an investigation into Sergeant Walker, but investigations took time they might not have. On the 4th day, Walker figured out he was being watched. Cole got the call at 6 a.m. He's running, cleaned out his bank accounts, packed a bag. He's heading for the border. Where is he now? Highway 35 heading south. We've got eyes on him. Cole grabbed his jacket. Don't lose him. Gunnar stopped him at the door. We need him alive, Cole. He's no good to us dead. I know. Do you? Because I see that look in your eyes, the one you get before you do something stupid. Cole took a breath. I'll bring him back. Alive. You have my word. He was gone before Gunnar could respond. Sarah watched from the window as Cole's motorcycle roared away. Her heart was pounding. He'll be okay, Maggie said behind her. How do you know? Because he's got something to come back to now. Sarah turned. What do you mean? Maggie just smiled. You know exactly what I mean. 2 hours later, Cole called. We got him. Sarah grabbed the phone from Gunnar. Are you okay? A pause. Yeah, I'm okay. Where are you? 20 miles out. We're bringing him to the ranch. Here, is that safe? Safer than anywhere else. We need to talk to him before the cops find out he's missing. Sarah's stomach churned. Talk to him. Get information. That's all. Another pause. I promise, yeah. She wanted to believe him. She really did. They brought Walker in through the back. Sarah kept Ethan inside with Maggie. He didn't need to see this, didn't need to know what happened in the barn at the edge of the property. But Sarah needed to know. She walked out there an hour later, found Gunnar standing outside, arms crossed. You shouldn't be here. What are you doing to him? Asking questions. Is he answering? Gunnar's expression was unreadable. He's starting to. The barn door opened. Cole stepped out, his knuckles red. Sarah's breath caught. Cole. He talked. Cole wouldn't meet her eyes. Blake's planning something big. A final move to take us out permanently. What kind of move? He doesn't know details, just that it's happening soon, within the week. Gunnar cursed. We need to get ahead of this. There's more. Cole finally looked at Sarah. Walker confirmed there's a hit out on Ethan. $50,000 to anyone who can eliminate the witness. The world tilted. Sarah grabbed the barn wall for support. 50,000. Blake wants this buried permanently. My son is 8 years old. Sarah's voice cracked. He's 8 years old and there's a bounty on his head. I know. Cole reached for her. Sarah, I know. She pulled away. Don't touch me. Don't tell me you know. You don't know. You can't possibly know what this feels like. She turned and walked back toward the house, tears streaming down her face. Cole watched her go. His hands were shaking. Gunnar put a hand on his shoulder. Give her time. We don't have time. Blake's moving. The serpents are hunting. Every second that kid's alive is a miracle. Then we make our own miracles. How? Gunnar was quiet for a moment. We go public, get ahead of the story, make Ethan visible. That's insane. You want to paint a target on him? The target's already there, but a visible target is harder to hit. Media attention, police protection, public pressure. Gunnar's eyes harden. Right now, Ethan's a secret. Secrets disappear. Public figures don't. Cole considered this. Sarah will never agree. Then convince her. How, boy, tell her the truth, that hiding isn't working, that running isn't an option, that the only way out is through. Cole stared at the house where Sarah had disappeared. And if she still says no, then we respect her decision and pray we can protect that boy long enough for another option to appear. Cole nodded slowly. Then he walked toward the house. The conversation lasted 2 hours. Sarah cried, she yelled, she threw things. Cole took it all. And then she listened. I can't keep hiding, she finally said. Ethan can't grow up in a bunker. No, he can't. But if we go public, if we put him out there, what happens when the cameras leave? When the story gets old? What then? Then Blake is either in prison or too exposed to make a move. Going public isn't just about protection. It's about pressure. The more eyes on this case, the harder it is for Blake to bury it. Sarah wiped her eyes. You really think it'll work? I think it's our best shot. And if you're wrong, Cole didn't answer. Sarah closed her eyes. She thought about David. What would he say? Run, hide, or fight? She already knew the answer. Okay, we do it. But I have conditions. Name them. Ethan doesn't do interviews alone. I'm with him every second. Done. We choose the journalist, someone trustworthy, not some tabloid hack. I know someone, Rachel Kim, KTVU News. She's done pieces on biker charities. Fair, honest. Sarah nodded. And one more thing. What? When this is over, when Blake is gone and Ethan is safe, I want out. New life, new city, new everything. Cole's face flickered with something pain, disappointment, but he nodded. Whatever you need, I'll make it happen. Promise me. I promise. They sat in silence for a long moment. Then Sarah did something unexpected. She reached out and took Cole's hand. Thank you for everything. Cole looked at their intertwined fingers. Don't thank me yet. We still have to survive. We will. We have to. She squeezed his hand once, then let go. Neither of them slept that night. The interview was scheduled for 3 days later. Rachel Kim arrived at a neutral location, a community center Cole had rented under a fake name. Camera crew, sound equipment, 2 armed bikers standing the watch outside. Ethan was nervous. He kept tugging at his collar, his eyes darting around the room. You okay, buddy? Cole crouched beside him. What if I say something wrong? You can't say anything wrong. Just tell the truth. That's all anyone wants. What if they don't believe me? Cole put his hand on Ethan's shoulder. They'll believe you. You know why, because you're the bravest kid I've ever met. And brave people tell the truth. Ethan took a deep breath. Okay, I'm ready. The interview started. Rachel Kim was gentle but thorough. She asked Ethan about that night at the diner, what he saw, what he did, why he decided to warn the bikers. I was scared, Ethan said, his voice small but steady. Really scared. But my dad always said real courage is doing the right thing even when you're terrified. Your dad sounds like a wise man. He was a soldier. He died protecting people. Ethan looked directly into the camera. I wanted to protect people too. Sarah watched from behind the lights, tears streaming down her face. Her son, her brave, beautiful son. Then Rachel turned to Sarah, asked about the threats, the fear, the decision to go public. I'm terrified, Sarah admitted, every moment of every day, but I refuse to teach my son to be silent in the face of evil. If we hide, they win, and I will not let them win. The segment aired that night. It went viral within hours. The internet exploded. A little boy with autism saving 8 bikers, a corrupt cop, a billionaire conspiracy. It had everything. By morning, Harrison Blake was trending on every social media platform. His publicist released a statement. Mr. Blake categorically denies any involvement in these baseless allegations. He looks forward to clearing his name through the proper legal channels. Well, Cole read it aloud and laughed. Proper legal channels? That's rich. Is it working? Sarah asked. The pressure. Look at this. Cole showed her his phone. The story had been picked up by CNN, Fox, MSNBC, every major outlet. They can't touch Ethan now. Too many eyes. Sarah wanted to believe it. She really did. But that night her phone rang. Unknown number. She almost didn't answer. But something made her pick up. Brave interview. Stupid move. You just made things personal. The line went dead. Sarah's blood turned to ice. She showed Cole the message. His face went pale. When did this come in? Just now. We need to move tonight. Move, but you said we were safe here. Blake's desperate now. Desperate men do desperate things. Cole was already grabbing his phone. Gunner, emergency meeting, now. 30 minutes later, Sarah sat in the kitchen surrounded by bikers. Gunner paced. Razor cleaned his gun. Hawk studied satellite maps on his laptop. We've got 3 options, Gunner said. Run, hide, or fight. Running doesn't work, Cole said. They'll follow. Hiding didn't work either, Razor added. They found us once. They'll find us again. So we fight. Hawk looked up from his laptop. We take the battle to them. How? Sarah demanded. Blake has lawyers, money, power. We have nothing. We have your son. Gunner turned to her. His testimony is the key. It connects everything. Salazar to the serpents to Walker, Walker to Blake. He's already given interviews. What more can he do? Not in interviews, grand jury testimony, official, on the record, enough to get Blake indicted. Sarah felt sick. You want my 8-year-old to testify in court. I want Blake in prison. That's the only way this ends. He's a child. He's the only witness. Gunner's voice rose. I'm sorry, Sarah. I'm sorry it fell on him. But that's the reality. Without Ethan, Blake walks. And if Blake walks, you spend the rest of your life running. The room fell silent. Sarah looked at Cole. His face was anguished. Is there no other way? I've looked, there isn't. Sarah buried her face in her hands. This couldn't be happening. Her son, her baby, the weight of a criminal case on his small shoulders. Mom. She looked up. Ethan stood in the doorway, pajamas, wrinkled hair, messy. I heard yelling. Is everything okay? Sarah rushed to him. Everything's fine, baby. Go back to bed. You're crying. I'm just tired. Ethan looked past her at the room full of bikers, then back at his mother. They need me to do something, don't they? God, this kid, too smart, too observant. We'll talk about it tomorrow, sweetheart. Mom, Ethan's voice was firm. Tell me. Sarah hesitated, then she crouched to his level. There's a bad man, a very bad man, and the only way to stop him is if you tell a judge what you saw that night. Like the interview. Bigger. more official, and scarier. Ethan thought for a moment. Will it keep us safe? Yes. Will it keep Cole safe and Gunnar and Maggie? Sarah felt tears threatening again. Yes, baby, it'll keep everyone safe. Ethan nodded. Then I'll do it. Ethan, you don't have to. Dad would do it. Ethan's eyes were steady. So I will too. Sarah pulled him into her arms, holding him so tight, sobbing against his small shoulder. Behind her, Gunnar wiped his eyes. Cole turned away, his jaw tight. This kid, this incredible, brave, impossible kid, he was going to save them all, or die trying. The next morning, Cole made the call. Detective Cortez agreed to meet. An hour later, she arrived at the ranch, her face grim. Walker's in custody, singing like a canary. Says Blake ordered the hit on the bikers in the contract on Ethan. That's good, right? Sarah asked. It's a start, but Walker's testimony alone won't convict Blake. His lawyers will tear him apart. Dirty cop trying to cut a deal. Cortez looked at Ethan. We need the original witness, the one who saw everything. He's 8 years old and, I know, and I'll fight like hell to protect him on that stand. But without his testimony, Blake walks. Sarah looked at her son. Ethan nodded. He'll do it, Sarah said. We'll do it. Cortez exhaled. Okay, the grand jury convenes in 5 days. Until then, we're putting you in protective custody. Real protective custody. Federal marshals. Safe house. The works. What about the club? Ethan asked suddenly. Everyone looked at him. They protected us. They saved us. They're our family now. Ethan's voice was fierce. I'm not leaving them. Cortez raised an eyebrow. Kid's got loyalty. Yeah, Cole's voice was thick. He does. Gunnar stepped forward. We'll coordinate with the marshals. Split protection duty. Your people, our people. Nobody touches that boy. Cortez considered this. Unusual, but these are unusual circumstances. She extended her hand to Gunnar. Welcome to the team. Gunnar shook it. Let's get this bastard. 5 days. That's all they had. 5 days to keep Ethan alive. 5 days to prepare him for the biggest challenge of his young life. 5 days until Harrison Blake faced justice. The countdown had begun. And somewhere in Austin, a billionaire was making his final move. Day 1 of the countdown started with a phone call that changed everything. Cole answered on the first ring. His face went white. When how many are you sure? Sarah watched him, her heart already racing. Cole hung up. Victor Salazar escaped custody 3 hours ago. What? Gunnar slammed his fist on the table. How the hell does that happen? Inside job. Someone left a door unlocked. He walked right out. Sarah grabbed the back of a chair to steady herself. The man who cut the brake lines. The man who saw Ethan. He's free. He's free, and he's disappeared. Find him. Gunnar's voice was pure ice. Every contact, every rat hole, find him before he finds us. Razor and Hawk were out the door in seconds. Sarah looked at Cole. What do? We stick to the plan. Marshals arrive tomorrow. Until then, we double the watch. Nobody in or out without clearance. That's not enough, Sarah's voice cracked. You know it's not enough. It has to be enough. Cole took her hands. I won't let anything happen to Ethan. I swear on my life. Don't swear on your life. I need you alive. The words hung between them. Cole's eyes softened. Sarah, not now. She pulled away. We can't do this now. She walked toward Ethan's room, leaving Cole standing alone. He watched her go, his heart heavy with words he couldn't say. Ethan was playing chess with Dutch when Sarah found him. Mom, I almost beat him this time. That's great, baby. Dutch caught her expression and stood. I'll give you 2 a minute. When they were alone, Sarah sat across from her son. Ethan, I need you to listen carefully. Something bad happened. Not a question, a statement. This kid saw everything. A bad man escaped from jail, the same one from that night. Ethan's face paled. The one who cut the bikes. Yes, we're safe here. We have protection, but I need you to stay inside. No going outside without me or Cole. Understand? Ethan nodded slowly. Is he coming for me? Sarah wanted to lie, wanted to protect him from the truth, but Ethan always knew when she lied. We don't know, but we're not taking chances. Ethan was quiet for a moment. Then he said something that shattered her heart. I'm not scared, Mom. I have you, and Cole and Gunnar. Bad men can't beat good people. Sarah pulled him into her arms, hiding her tears. If only she believed that as much as he did. Night fell. The ranch went on lockdown. Armed bikers at every entrance. Motion sensors along the perimeter. Everyone on high alert. Sarah couldn't sleep. She sat at the kitchen table staring at her phone, waiting for news that never came. Footsteps behind her. Cole. You should rest. Can't. He sat across from her. Razor checked in. No sign of Salazar. It's like he vanished. That's not comforting. I know. Silence stretched between them. Cole, what happens after this? After what? After Blake goes to prison? After Ethan testifies? After all of this is over? She looked at him. What happens to us? Cole's jaw tightened. You said you wanted out. New life. New city. I know what I said. So that's what happens. I help you disappear. You start over. Ethan grows up safe. And you? Cole was quiet for a long moment. I stay here, with my brothers, where I belong. Is that what you want? He met her eyes. What I want doesn't matter. It matters to me. Cole reached across the table, took her hand. Sarah, an explosion shattered the night. The kitchen window blew inward, glass everywhere, alarms screaming. Cole threw himself over Sarah, shielding her with his body. Gunnar, we're hit. Gunfire erupted outside. Multiple weapons, multiple directions. Ethan, Sarah screamed. Cole grabbed her arm. Stay down, I'll get him. He was gone before she could argue. Sarah crawled toward the hallway glass, cutting her hands, terror clawing at her throat. More explosions. Closer. The house shook. She heard Maggie screaming somewhere. Heard Gunnar shouting orders. Heard the roar of motorcycles. And then she heard Ethan. Mom, Mom. Cole burst through Ethan's door, scooping the boy into his arms. I've got you, buddy. I've got you. Where's my mom? She's coming. We're getting out. Cole ran toward the back exit. Ethan clutched against his chest. A figure stepped out of the shadows. Gray jacket, black gloves. Victor Salazar. Going somewhere. Cole stopped. His gun was in his waistband. Ethan was in his arms. No way to draw without dropping the boy. Let him go. Take me instead. Salazar laughed. You're nothing. The kid's worth 50 grand. Over my dead body. That can be arranged. Salazar raised his weapon. A gunshot cracked. Salazar stumbled forward. Eyes wide, a red bloom spreading across his chest. Behind him, Sarah stood with a smoking pistol in her trembling hands. Salazar turned disbelief on his face. You bitch! He collapsed. Cole stared at Sarah. She stared back, the gun still raised, her whole body shaking. Sarah! I got him! Her voice was barely a whisper. I got him. She dropped the gun. Her legs gave out. Cole caught her with his free arm, Ethan still clutched in the other. I killed him. I killed someone. You saved our lives. You saved Ethan. Sarah looked at her son. Are you okay? Are you hurt? I'm okay, Mom. Ethan's voice was steady. You were brave, like Dad. Sarah sobbed. Cole held them both as the sounds of battle raged around them. It took 20 minutes to end the siege. When it was over, 4 iron serpents lay dead. 3 more were wounded and in custody. Salazar was gone, his body removed by paramedics who knew there was nothing to save. The ranch was damaged, but standing. And somehow, impossibly, everyone who mattered was alive. Gunnar found them huddled in the barn, Cole standing guard while Sarah held Ethan. It's over. They're gone. For now, Cole said. Blake sent them. Had to be. This was a coordinated hit. Then Blake knows we're still alive. Knows Ethan's still alive. Gunnar nodded grimly. He'll try again. Before the grand jury. Has to be. Once Ethan testifies, it's over for Blake. Gunnar looked at Sarah. You okay? She shook her head. I killed a man. You saved your son. There's a difference. Is there? Gunnar crouched beside her. Listen to me. Salazar was a killer. He would have murdered your boy without blinking. You did what any mother would do, what any good person would do. I don't feel like a good person. That's how you know you are one. Gunnar stood. Bad people don't feel remorse. You do. Hold on to that. Detective Cortez arrived with dawn. The ranch was crawling with cops, federal agents, crime scene techs. Sarah gave her statement 4 times. Each time it got a little easier, a little less raw. Self-defense clear-cut, Cortez told her. No charges. You are free to go. Go where they found us here. Federal safe house. Real one this time. Marshals are already en route. And the grand jury was still on schedule. 3 days. Sarah closed her eyes. 3 more days of this nightmare. Blake's getting desperate, Cortez continued. Desperate men make mistakes. We're monitoring his communications. He's panicking. Panicking enough to surrender. Panicking enough to try one more play. We need to be ready. Nicole stepped in. What kind of play? We don't know, but he's making calls, moving money. Something's coming. The federal safe house was a fortress. Armed guards, bulletproof windows, surveillance everywhere. Ethan hated it. I can't see the stars here, he told Sarah the first night. I know, baby. It's just for a few days. I miss the ranch. I miss Dutch and Maggie. They'll visit, Cole promised. Ethan looked at her. Mom, are you and Cole going to get married? Sarah nearly choked. What? Why would you ask that? Because he loves you, I can tell, and you love him. I can tell that too. Ethan, it's complicated. No, it's not. Ethan's voice was matter of fact. Dad's gone. He'd want you to be happy. Cole makes you happy. What's complicated about that? Out of the mouths of babes. Sarah didn't answer. She just kissed her son's forehead and turned off the light. But she didn't sleep. She couldn't stop thinking about Cole. Day 2. 2 days until testimony. Cole arrived with news. Blake's lawyer just filed an emergency motion, trying to block Ethan's testimony. On what grounds? Child witness unreliability, claiming Ethan's autism makes his testimony inadmissible. Sarah saw red. He's using my son's disability against him. He's using everything he's got. And the judge? Hearings tomorrow. If Blake wins, Ethan doesn't testify. Blake walks. Sarah's hands were shaking. He can't win. He can't. Cortez is fighting it. Got expert witnesses lined up. Child psychologists who'll testify that autism doesn't affect reliability. It might not be enough. It has to be. Sarah stood, paced, her mind racing. I want to be there, at the hearing. That's not safe. I don't care about safe, Sarah turned it on him. That man is trying to destroy my son. I'm not hiding while he does it. I want to be in that courtroom. I want Blake to see my face. Cole stared at her. Then he nodded. I'll make it happen. The next morning, Sarah walked into the Austin courthouse. She wore the best clothes she had, head high, back straight. She looked like a woman who'd survived hell and come out stronger. Because she was. Cole flanked her left. Gunnar flanked her right. Behind them, a dozen Hell's Angels in their finest, leather cuts, patches gleaming. The media went crazy. Sarah, Mrs. Riley, how do you feel about the motion? What is your reaction to Blake's claims about your son? Are the Hell's Angels officially supporting Ethan? Sarah didn't answer, just walked. Inside the courtroom, Harrison Blake sat at the defendant's table. Silver hair, expensive suit, the same smile from his photos. But Sarah saw past the smile, saw the fear underneath. He was losing, and he knew it. The judge entered. Hearing began. Blake's lawyer went first, cited studies, quoted experts, painted Ethan as confused, unreliable, easily led. Sarah's blood boiled. Then the prosecution responded. Dr. Patricia Mendez, child psychologist, 30 years experience. Children with autism often demonstrate superior observational skills and recall. They notice details neurotypical witnesses miss. They are not more easily led. In fact, they tend to be more literal and accurate in their recounting. In your professional opinion, can Ethan Riley provide reliable testimony? Without question, in my evaluation, he was one of the most precise, consistent witnesses I've ever encountered. Blake's lawyer tried to object. The judge overruled. When it was over, the judge took an hour to deliberate. Sarah sat in the hallway, Cole beside her waiting. What if we lose? We won't. But if we do, then we find another way. Cole took her hand. There's always another way. The bailiff emerged. Judges ready. They filed back in. Sarah could barely breathe. The judge looked at Blake, then at Sarah, then at the files before him. Motion denied. The child's testimony will be allowed. Sarah nearly collapsed with relief. Blake's face went slack. For just a moment, the mask slipped. Pure hatred flashed in his eyes. Then it was gone. His lawyer whispered something. Blake stood, straightened his tie, and walked out without a word. Cole leaned close to Sarah. It's not over. He's got 1 day left. What can he do in 1 day? I don't know, but he's not done fighting. That night, Harrison Blake made a phone call. I need a new plan, something untraceable, something final. The ranch is a fortress now, the kid's in federal protection. Then find a way in. That's impossible. Nothing's impossible, you just need the right pressure point. Blake's voice was ice. Everyone has someone they love. Everyone has a weakness. Find theirs. 3 hours later, Cole's phone rang. He answered, listened. His face went white. Who, when, are they okay? Sarah watched terror building. Cole hung up. His hands were shaking. What happened? Maggie, they took Maggie. What? Someone grabbed her from her home, left a note for Gunnar. What did it say? Cole met her eyes. Trade, Maggie for Ethan. Tomorrow morning, or she dies. Sarah's world stopped. Gunnar was a broken man. Sarah had never seen him like this. The giant who'd seemed invincible, unbreakable, now sitting at a table, head in his hands, tears streaming through his fingers. 42 years. 42 years she's been by my side. Through everything. Prison, wars, deaths. She never left. Never complained. We'll get her back, Cole said. How they want Ethan. I can't, I won't. Gunnar looked at Sarah. I would never ask you to trade your son. Never, you understand that. I know. But Maggie, she's everything. She's my whole world. Sarah felt her heart breaking for him. And beneath the heartbreak, something else. An idea. Crazy, dangerous, possibly suicidal. What if we don't trade? Everyone looked at her. What if we give them a target they can't resist, but it's not really the target? Cole frowned. What are you saying? I'm saying Ethan's not the only witness. I was there too. I saw things. I killed Salazar. Blake wants me gone as much as he wants Ethan gone. Sarah, no. Listen to me. Sarah's voice was fierce. They want to trade, fine. They get one, but not Ethan, me. Absolutely not, Cole snapped. It's not your decision. The hell it isn't. Cole, Sarah grabbed his arms, forced him to look at her. They don't know the difference, not really. They want leverage. They want to silence a witness. I'm a witness too. They'll kill you. Not if you're there, not if this is a trap. Sarah turned to Gunnar. You know these people. You know how they think. Can we set a trap? Gunnar was silent for a long moment. It could work if they believe it's Ethan. If we control the location, if our people are in position. It's too risky, Cole insisted. Everything's risky. Doing nothing is risky. But this way we get Maggie back. We expose Blake's people, and we end this. And if something goes wrong, Sarah looked at him, then you take care of my son. Promise me. Don't ask me that. Promise me, Cole. Silence stretched between them. Finally, Cole nodded. I promise. Then let's plan this thing. Dawn broke over Austin. The exchange was set for 6 a.m., an abandoned factory on the outskirts, Iron Serpent territory. Sarah wore Ethan's jacket, a hood pulled low. From a distance, in dim light, she could pass for a child. Barely. Cole positioned himself on a nearby roof. Razor and Hawk covered the exits. Gunnar waited in a van ready to extract Maggie the moment she appeared. You sure about this? Cole's voice crackled in her earpiece. No, but I'm doing it anyway. Sarah, don't, not now. Focus on the mission. Silence, then copy that. A black SUV pulled up. 2 men emerged, dragging Maggie between them. She looked terrified, bruised, but alive. Show us the kid, one of them shouted. Sarah stepped forward, hood low jacket pulled tight. Let her go first. That's not how this works. Then we have a problem. One of the men grabbed Maggie's hair, yanked her head back. Walk toward us or she dies. Sarah took a step, then another, then another. 20 feet away, 15, 10. Take off the hood. Sarah's heart stopped. Now, she had no choice. She reached up, pulled back the hood. The man's eyes went wide. That's not the kid. It's the mother trap. It's a trap. Everything exploded. Cole fired from the roof. One man dropped. Razor burst through a side door. Hawk came from behind. Sarah threw herself at the man, holding Maggie, tackling him to the ground. They struggled. He was stronger. His hands found her throat squeezing. Sarah couldn't breathe. Her vision darkened. Then a gunshot. The hands released. The man slumped. Cole stood over them, smoking gun in hand. Sarah, talk to me, she gasped for air. I'm okay. Get Maggie. Gunnar was already there, lifting his wife into his arms, sobbing against her hair. I've got you. It's over. But it wasn't over. One of the downed men was still alive, wounded but conscious. Cole grabbed him by the collar. Who sent you, Blake? The man laughed, blood on his teeth. You think this was Blake's only play? Check your safe house. Check it now. Cole's blood ran cold. He grabbed his phone, dialed the marshal protecting Ethan. No answer. Move now. They raced back across the city. Every red light felt like eternity. Every second stretched into hours. Cole called again. No answer. Sarah was praying, actually praying for the first time in years. Please, God, please, not my son, not my baby, please. They reached the safe house. The door was open. Inside, two marshals lay unconscious on the floor, and Ethan was gone. Sarah screamed. The sound ripped from her throat, raw and primal, echoing off the walls of the empty safe house. She dropped to her knees where Ethan's bed had been, clutching his pillow, breathing in the last traces of her son. No. Cole was already on the phone. Cortez, they took him. They took Ethan. The safe house was a decoy. They hit us while we were at the factory. Gunnar checked the marshals. They're alive, drugged. Someone got inside without a fight. How? Razor demanded. This place was a fortress. Inside job. Cole's voice was death. Had to be. Someone knew the rotation, knew exactly when to hit. Sarah looked up, tears streaming. Find him. Find my son. Please. Cole crouched beside her, took her face in his hands. I will find him. I swear to God, Sarah, I will bring him home. He's all I have. He's everything. I know, and I won't stop until he's safe. You hear me? I won't stop. His phone buzzed. Unknown number. Cole answered. Put it on speaker. Harrison Blake's voice filled the room. That was quite a performance at the factory. Very dramatic. But I'm afraid you've been outmaneuvered. Where is he? Cole's voice shook with rage. The boy is safe for now. He's actually quite charming. Very polite. You've raised him well, Mrs. Riley. Sarah grabbed the phone. If you hurt him, I swear to God. Hurt him, I'm not a monster. I'm a businessman. And every good businessman knows the value of leverage. What do you want? Simple. The grand jury convenes in 6 hours. You will not appear. You will not testify. You will go on national television and recant everything you've said about me. And if I refuse, silence, then a sound that shattered Sarah's soul. Ethan crying. Mom, I'm scared. Please help me, please. The line went dead. Sarah collapsed. Cole caught her before she hit the floor. He has my baby. That monster has my baby. We'll get him back. How? We don't know where he is. We don't know who took him. We have nothing. We have 6 hours. Cole's jaw was set. 6 hours to find him. 6 hours to end this. That's not enough time. It has to be. Cortez arrived 15 minutes later with a full tactical team. We're pulling every resource, every camera, every informant. Blake made a mistake contacting you directly. We're tracing the call. He's too smart for that, Gunnar said. He'll have used burners, proxies. Maybe, but even smart men make mistakes when they're desperate. Cortez looked at Sarah. I need you to focus. Think. Is there anything Ethan might do? Any way he might help us find him? Sarah forced herself to breathe, to think. Ethan, her brilliant, observant son. He notices things, everything, details other people miss. Her mind raced. If he's conscious, if he's aware, he'll be paying attention, looking for clues. That helps us how? I don't know. I know my son. He won't just sit there. He'll be trying to figure a way out. Cole's phone buzzed again, a text this time, from Ethan's number. One-word warehouse. Cole stared at it. Son of a bitch, the kid got to a phone. Blake has his phone, Cortez said. That was confiscated with his belongings. Then Ethan found another one, or stole one. Sarah's heart surged with hope. That's my boy. That's my brave boy. Another text came through, fish smell, then another. Train sounds. He's giving us clues, Cole said. Warehouse, fish smell, train sounds. Hawk pulled out his laptop. Industrial district, near the waterfront. There's an old fish processing plant, abandoned for years. Train tracks run right behind it. That's it. That's where they have him. We don't know for sure, Cortez started. It's him. Sarah's voice was certain. I know my son. He's telling us where he is. Cole was already moving. Hawk, get me blueprints. Razor, call everyone. Every brother. Every ally. We're going in. Wait, Cortez grabbed his arm. This needs to be coordinated. We can't just... We can and we will. Cole shook her off. Your people let him get taken. My people will get him back. Cole, you want to help clear the perimeter, keep Blake's lawyers busy, but we're doing this our way. Cortez hesitated, then nodded. 1 hour. That's all I can give you before I have to go official. 1 hour is all we need. The convoy was 12 motorcycles and 4 SUVs. Every Hell's Angel in Austin, plus allies from San Antonio, Houston, Dallas. Word had spread. A child had been taken, one of their own. In the biker world, that meant war. Sarah rode behind Cole, her arms tight around his waist. She'd refused to stay behind. Ethan needed to see her face when they came for him. You ready for this? Cole shouted over the engine. Just get me to my son. The fish processing plant loomed ahead. Old, rusted, perfect for hiding. Cole signaled. The convoy split. Teams circling, covering every exit. Heat signatures show 12 inside, Hawk reported through the radio. One small one, separate room. That's Ethan. Guards, minimum 6, maybe more. Blake, no sign. He's too smart to be here personally. Then we take what we can get. Cole turned to Sarah. You stay with Gunner until we clear the building. When it's safe, I'll come for you. Cole, please, I can't focus if I'm worried about you. Let me do this. Sarah wanted to argue, but she saw the desperation in his eyes. Bring him back to me. I will. He kissed her, fast, hard, like it might be the last time. Then he was gone. The assault was swift and brutal. Cole led the first team through the front. Razor took the back. Hawk came from the roof. Gunfire erupted. Shouts, screams. Sarah huddled in the SUV, Gunner beside her, listening to the chaos. Every shot made her flinch. Every scream made her pray. Please, please, please. Cole's voice crackled through the radio. First floor clear. Moving to second. More gunfire. Contact 3 hostiles. Taking fire. Sarah's heart stopped. Cole, static, endless, horrible static. Then I'm okay, hostile down, moving on. Sarah exhaled, tears streaming. He's gonna make it, Gunner said. Cole's the best we got. He'll bring Ethan home. How do you know? Gunner looked at her. Because he loves that boy like his own son. And he loves you more than his own life. Nothing's gonna stop him. 2 minutes later, Cole's voice came through again. Found him, 3rd floor, east side, room is locked. I'm going in. Sarah grabbed the radio. Is he okay? Is my son okay? Silence. Cole. Then a new voice, calm, cold, familiar. I wouldn't do that if I were you. Harrison Blake. Sarah's blood turned to ice. Mr. Blake. Cole's voice was tight. Didn't expect you to show up personally. Special circumstances require personal attention. Put down your weapon, Mr. Cole, or this all ends very badly. Let the boy go. I'm afraid I can't do that. You see, young Ethan here is my insurance policy. As long as I have him, none of you will do anything rash. Sarah heard Ethan's voice, small but clear. Cole, don't let him win. Don't let him. Quiet, boy. You don't scare me. Ethan's voice was stronger now. My mom killed the last guy who tried to hurt me. She'll get you too. Despite everything, Sarah almost smiled. Her son, defiant to the end. Charming child, Blake said. It would be such a shame to touch him and you die. Cole's voice was pure ice. I don't care about evidence. I don't care about trials. You harm one hair on his head, I will end you right here. Big words from a man with a gun to a child's head. Sarah couldn't breathe. What do you want, Blake? I told Mrs. Riley what I want. Recantation, silence, my reputation restored. And you think taking a child will get you that? I think desperation makes people flexible. Cole was silent for a moment. Then, let me talk to her, Sarah. The radio crackled. Go ahead. Sarah, I've got eyes on Ethan. He's okay, scared, but okay. Blake's got a gun on him. What do we do? I need you to trust me. Can you do that? And yes. Good. In 30 seconds, Razor's team is going to cut the power. When the lights go out, I'm moving. I need you to pray. I'm already praying. Pray harder. The next 30 seconds were the longest of Sarah's life. She counted her heartbeats, listened to the static, imagined every terrible possibility. Then the lights went out. Gunfire, screams, the sound of breaking glass. Cole, nothing. Ethan, more gunfire, closer. Then I've got him. Sarah, I've got him. He's safe. Sarah burst out of the SUV before Gunner could stop her. She ran toward the building, ignoring the shouts behind her, ignoring the danger. Cole emerged from the front door, Ethan in his arms. Sarah collided with them, pulled her son against her chest, collapsed to her knees. Baby, my baby, are you okay? Are you hurt? I'm okay, Mom. Ethan wrapped his arms around her neck. Cole saved me. He was so fast, the bad man didn't even see him. Sarah looked at Cole through her tears. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Don't thank me yet. Cole's face was grim. Blake got away. What? Fire escape. He had a backup plan. I had to choose between chasing him and saving Ethan. You made the right choice. Maybe, but as long as Blake's free, this isn't over. Cortez arrived with sirens blaring. We've got an APB out on Blake. Every airport, every border crossing. He won't get far. He's got money, Cole said. Resources. He could disappear for years. Not if Ethan testifies. Cortez looked at Sarah. The grand jury convenes in 4 hours. If Ethan gives his statement, we get an indictment. With an indictment, Blake becomes a fugitive. International warrants. Frozen assets. Nowhere to hide. Sarah looked at her son. Ethan, can you do this after everything? Ethan's eyes were red from crying. He was exhausted, traumatized, but his voice was steady. He tried to hurt you, Mom. He tried to hurt all of us. I want him to go to jail forever. It won't be easy. There will be questions. Lawyers trying to confuse you. I'm not confused. I know what I saw. I know what he did. Ethan looked at Cole, and I have the best people protecting me. Cole put his hand on Ethan's shoulder. We'll be there. Every step. You won't be alone. Sarah made the decision. We're going to that courtroom. 4 hours later, Ethan Riley walked into the federal courthouse. He wore his best clothes, a white shirt, dark pants, shoes that actually fit. Maggie had insisted on buying them for him. Sarah held his hand. Cole walked beside them. Behind them, 12 Hells Angels in their finest cuts. The media went insane. Ethan, how are you feeling? Mrs. Riley, what would you say to Harrison Blake? Is it true the Hells Angels are now your official protectors? Ethan stopped, looked directly at the cameras. My name is Ethan Riley. I'm 8 years old. I have autism. Some people think that makes me less. They're wrong. I see things other people miss. I noticed a bad man cutting brake lines. I told the truth. And now another bad man is trying to hurt me and my mom because of it. He paused. The crowd fell silent. Harrison Blake thinks he can scare us. He can't. My dad was a soldier. He taught me that being brave isn't about not being scared. It's about doing the right thing anyway. That's what I'm going to do today. I'm going to tell the truth, and Mr. Blake is going to prison. He walked into the courthouse without looking back. Behind him, Cole smiled. Hell of a kid. Gets it from his mother, Gunner said. Sarah wiped her eyes. Let's finish this. The grand jury room was intimidating. 23 jurors, prosecutors, court reporters, all eyes on the small boy in the witness chair. Sarah sat in the gallery, Cole beside her, her hand gripping his so hard her knuckles went white. The prosecutor approached gently. Ethan, can you tell us what you saw on the night of February 17th? Ethan nodded, then he talked. He described everything. The man in the gray jacket, the cable cutter, the methodical movements from bike to bike, the time intervals between each cut. How do you remember so many details? The prosecutor asked. My brain works different. I notice patterns, numbers, sequences, things other people don't see. Ethan looked at the jury. Some people think that's a problem. It's not. It's how I saved 8 people's lives. One of the jurors wiped her eyes. The prosecutor continued. And what happened after you warned the bikers? Ethan told them. The threats, the attack on the ranch, his kidnapping. Did you see Harrison Blake during your kidnapping? Yes, he was there at the end, in the warehouse. He had a gun. He pointed it at me and said I was his insurance policy. Murmurs rippled through the room. Did he say anything else? He said my mom had to go on TV and say she lied, that if she didn't, bad things would happen to me. What kind of bad things? Ethan's voice wavered for the first time. He didn't say, but I could tell he meant it. His eyes were empty, like there was nothing inside. Sarah's heart broke. Her baby, describing a monster. The prosecutor finished. Thank you, Ethan. You've been very brave. Blake's lawyer, a woman named Patricia Hargrove, who'd flown in from New York, stood for cross-examination. Ethan, you mentioned you have autism. Yes. And doesn't autism affect how you perceive things, how you remember things? It affects how I perceive things differently, not wrong, different. But isn't it possible you misremembered what you saw that night? No. How can you be so sure? Ethan looked at her with those steady, unblinking eyes. Because I remember everything. Every detail. Every second. My brain doesn't forget. It can't. That's how autism works for me. I see something, it stays in my head forever. Like a recording. Hargrove faltered. But surely, do you want me to describe what you're wearing, the exact pattern of your scarf, the number of buttons on your jacket, the tiny coffee stain on your left cuff that you probably don't even know is there? Hargrove looked down. There was indeed a small stain. The jurors murmured. I notice things, Ethan said. That's what I do. That's what I saw. And nothing you say will make me doubt what I know to be true. Hargrove looked at her notes, then at the boy who had just demolished her argument. No further questions. The grand jury deliberated for 43 minutes. Sarah paced the hallway. Cole sat against the wall watching her. You're going to wear a hole in the floor. I can't sit still. What's taking so long? These things take time. He was incredible. He was so brave. You saw him? He took on that lawyer like it was nothing. He's his mother's son. Sarah stopped pacing, looked at Cole. What happens now? After this is over? What do you mean? You know what I mean. Us, you and me. Cole was quiet for a moment. I know what you said before. New life, new city, starting over. I said a lot of things. Things have changed. Have they? Sarah sat beside him, took his hand. Cole, I watched you save my son. Twice. I watched you put yourself in danger for us without hesitation. I watched you become the man Ethan looks up to more than anyone else in the world. I just did what needed to be done. That's not true. You could have walked away at any point. You chose to stay. You chose us. Cole met her eyes. I love you, Sarah. Both of you. I know it's fast. I know it's complicated. But it's the truth. It's not that fast. Sarah smiled through her tears. I think I started falling for you the night you handed me that business card. Call anytime, day or night. Who says that to a stranger? Someone who knows when they have met someone special. The door opened. The bailiff emerged. The grand jury has reached a decision. Sarah and Cole stood, walked into the courtroom, hand in hand. The four-person rows. On the charge of conspiracy to commit murder, we find probable cause to indict Harrison Blake. On the charge of kidnapping, we find probable cause to indict. On the charge of witness tampering, we find probable cause to indict. On the charge of attempted murder, we find probable cause to indict. Sarah's knees gave out. Cole caught her. "We did it," she whispered. "We actually did it." The prosecutor turned to the gallery. "An arrest warrant will be issued immediately. Mr. Blake will be apprehended and brought to trial." Ethan ran to his mother. She swept him into her arms. "You did it, baby. You were so brave. So incredible." "Is the bad man going to jail now?" "Yes, because of you, because you told the truth." Cole put his arms around both of them. Gunnar stood nearby, Maggie at his side, both of them smiling. For the first time in weeks, Sarah felt something she'd almost forgotten. Hope. But outside the courthouse, a phone rang. A man in a dark suit answered. The indictment went through. Blake's a fugitive now. "Where is he?" "Private airfield, about to board a plane for a non-extradition country." "Tubbs him." "Too late. He's wheels up in 10 minutes. "Then we have 10 minutes. The line went dead. And somewhere across Austin, Harrison Blake was about to learn that justice doesn't always come from a courtroom. Cole's phone buzzed as they walked out of the courthouse. He read the message. His face hardened. "What is it?" Sarah asked. "Blake, he's trying to run. Private airfield, non-extradition country." "Can the police stop him?" "Not in time." Sarah looked at him. "But you can." Cole hesitated. Sarah, go. Finish this. Make sure he never comes back." "I can't leave you." "You're not leaving me. You're protecting us. For good." She kissed him. "Go. I'll be here when you get back." Cole looked at Ethan. "Take care of your mom." "I will." Ethan hugged him. "Get the bad man." Cole ran for his bike. Behind him, the Hells Angels were already mounting up. One last ride, one final chance. Cole pushed his Harley to 120 miles per hour. The wind screamed past him. The engine roared beneath him. Behind him, 11 brothers rode in perfect formation, their headlights cutting through the darkness like a pack of wolves hunting prey. 8 minutes. That's all he had. 8 minutes before Harrison Blake's private jet lifted off the runway and disappeared forever. His radio crackled. Razor's voice. "Got eyes on the airfield. 2 security at the gate. More inside. They're not expecting company. Don't give them time to think." "What about the cops?" "Cortez is 5 minutes behind us. We don't wait." Cole twisted the throttle harder. 7 minutes. At the courthouse, Sarah stood frozen on the steps. Cameras still flashing, reporters still shouting. But she didn't hear any of it. Her eyes were fixed on the horizon where Cole had disappeared. "Mom." Ethan tugged her sleeve. "Is Cole going to be okay?" "I don't know, baby." "He has to be," he promised. Gunnar stepped beside her. "Cole's the best rider I've ever seen. Fastest hands, coolest head. If anyone can stop Blake, it's him. And if Blake has more security, more guns, then Blake has 12 very angry bikers coming at him." Gunnar's eyes were hard. "This ends tonight, one way or another." Sarah's phone buzzed. "Cortez, where are you?" "Still at the courthouse. Cole and the others." "I know. I'm en route. Sarah, I need you to understand something. If they reach Blake before I do, if something happens, I don't care about legal complications. I care about ending this." Silence. Then, off the record, "So do I." The line went dead. Sarah grabbed Ethan's hand. "We're going." "We're to the airfield. I need to be there when this is over." Maggie stepped forward. "Sarah, that's dangerous." "Everything has been dangerous. My son was kidnapped. My life was threatened. I killed a man." Sarah's voice shook. "I'm done hiding. I'm done waiting. I'm going to watch Harrison Blake face justice, and I'm going to be the first face he sees when it happens." Gunnar nodded slowly. "I'll drive." 6 minutes. Cole saw the airfield lights ahead. A small private facility, one runway, one hangar, and a sleek jet already warming its engines. "Razor, take your team and cut off the runway." Nobody takes off. Copy. Hawk, you're with me. We're going through the front. What about security? Run them down if you have to. They hit the gate at 70 miles per hour. The barrier exploded. Security guards dove for cover. Cole and Hawk blasted through the wreckage without slowing. The jet was taxiing. Moving toward the runway, Cole aimed straight for it. Cole, what the hell are you doing? Getting his attention. He positioned his bike directly in the jet's path. 20 feet ahead. 15. 10. The jet's brakes screamed. It stopped. Cole dismounted, drew his weapon, and walked toward the aircraft. The cabin door opened. Steps descended. Harrison Blake appeared, his face twisted with fury. Are you insane? You could have killed us both. That was the point. Blake looked at the bikers surrounding him. Razor's team blocking the runway. Hawk covering his flank. You have no authority here. This is a private facility. I have every right to. You have the right to shut up. Cole stepped closer. You're under indictment, Blake. Attempted murder, kidnapping, conspiracy. You're not going anywhere except prison. Blake laughed, a cold, ugly sound. You think this changes anything? My lawyers will have me out within a week. I'll be on a beach while you're still scraping by paycheck to paycheck. Maybe, maybe not. Cole smiled. But right now, in this moment, you're not a billionaire. You're not powerful. You're just a scared old man surrounded by men who would love nothing more than to watch you suffer. Blake's bravado flickered. You wouldn't dare. There are cameras, witnesses. Are there? Cole looked around. Funny, I don't see any. Hawk stepped forward, cracking his knuckles. Boss, you want me to explain what happens to people who hurt kids? Blake took a step back. Cole watched the fear spread across his face, the realization that money couldn't save him. That power meant nothing here. Here's what's going to happen, Cole said. You're going to walk back to that courthouse. You're going to surrender, and you're going to spend the rest of your miserable life in a cell thinking about how you lost everything because you tried to hurt an 8-year-old boy. And if I refuse, Cole raised his gun, then I become the last thing you ever see. Silence stretched between them. Blake's eyes darted around, calculating, searching for an escape. There was none. Finally, his shoulders slumped. Fine, I'll come quietly. Cole lowered his weapon. That was his mistake. Blake moved fast, too fast for a man his age. He pulled a small pistol from his ankle holster, aimed at Cole's chest. You should have killed me when you had the chance. Cole dove. The gunshot cracked. Pain exploded through his shoulder. He hit the ground, his weapon skidding across the tarmac. Blake stood over him, gun raised. All this trouble, all this drama, for what? A waitress and her defective child? Don't, Cole gasped. Don't call him that. He is defective, broken, just like his dead father. Blake's finger tightened on the trigger. At least you'll be joining him soon. A motorcycle engine roared. Blake turned. Gunner's SUV smashed into him. Not fast enough to kill, just fast enough to hurt. Blake flew backward, crashing onto the tarmac, the gun flying from his hand. Sarah was out of the vehicle before it stopped moving. She ran to Cole. Oh God, you're shot. Shoulder, I'll live. Cole grabbed her hand. How? I told you, I'm done waiting. Ethan jumped out after her. He stood over Blake's groaning form, looking down at the man who had terrorized them for weeks. You lost, Ethan said. I told you, bad men don't win. Blake coughed, blood on his lips. You're just a kid. I'm the kid who stopped you. Ethan's voice was steady. My dad would be proud. Sirens wailed in the distance. Red and blue lights approaching. Cortez's cars screeched onto the tarmac. Officers surrounded Blake, handcuffs clicked. Harrison Blake, you're under arrest for attempted murder, kidnapping, conspiracy, and about 15 other charges I'll think of on the way to the station. Blake struggled weakly. I want my lawyer. I have rights. You have the right to remain silent. I suggest you use it. Cortez looked at Cole bleeding on the ground. Medics now. Sarah stayed beside Cole as the paramedics worked. You scared me. You scared me so much. Sorry, didn't plan on getting shot. You never plan, you just do. Cole laughed, then winced. That is kind of my thing. Ethan appeared beside them. Is Cole going to be okay? The bullet went through clean, a paramedic said. He's going to be fine. Ethan exhaled. Good, because I still need him to teach me to ride a motorcycle. Cole grinned and, when you're older, buddy. How much older? We'll negotiate. Sarah shook her head, tears mixing with laughter. It was over. It was finally over. 3 weeks later, everything had changed. Harrison Blake's trial was the biggest news story in Texas. The prosecution had everything Ethan's testimony. Walker's confession, financial records showing payments to the Iron Serpents, recorded phone calls from the warehouse. Blake's lawyers tried every trick, every delay, every legal maneuver. None of it worked. The verdict came on a Tuesday afternoon, guilty on all counts. The courtroom erupted. Sarah sobbed into Cole's good shoulder. Ethan pumped his fist like he'd won the World Series. The judge's voice cut through the chaos. Harrison Blake, you have been found guilty of conspiracy to commit murder, kidnapping, witness tampering, and numerous other offenses. You have used your wealth and power to terrorize innocent people, including a child. You have shown no remorse and have attempted to flee justice at every turn. Blake sat motionless, his face gray. It is the judgment of this court that you be sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole. May God have mercy on your soul, because this court has none. The gavel fell. Blake was led away in chains. As he passed Sarah's row, he paused. Their eyes met. This isn't over, he hissed. I have people. I have resources. Sooner or later, you'll die in a cell, Sarah said calmly. Alone, forgotten. That's your future now. Blake's face contorted with rage, but the guards pulled him forward and then he was gone. Forever. Sarah turned to Cole. It's really over. It's really over. What do we do now? Cole smiled. Whatever we want. The ranch had never looked more beautiful. Sarah stood on the porch watching Ethan play with the keys in the yard. 2 months had passed since the trial. 2 months of peace. 2 months of learning what normal felt like. It felt amazing. Cole walked up behind her, wrapping his good arm around her waist. His shoulder had healed, though he'd probably always carry the scar. Penny, for your thoughts. I was thinking about how much has changed. Good changes. The best changes. Sarah leaned into him. A year ago, I was drowning, working double shifts, drowning in debt, watching my son struggle with a world that didn't understand him. And now I have a home, a family, a man who loves us. She turned to face him. I never thought I could feel this way again. After David died, I thought that part of my life was over. It was just paused, waiting for the right moment, for the right person. Cole kissed her forehead. I love you, Sarah Riley. I love you too, Cole. Mom, Cole, look. They turned. Ethan was pointing at the driveway where a convoy of motorcycles was approaching. Gunnar led the pack. Razor, Hawk, Dutch, Maggie in the sidecar waving. Behind them, more bikes than Sarah could count. What's going on? She asked. Cole grinned. You'll see. The bikers parked in a massive semicircle. Dozens of them. Maybe 100. Gunnar dismounted and walked toward the porch. Sarah, Ethan, we need you both down here. Sarah looked at Cole. He just smiled. They walked down to the yard. The bikers formed a circle around them. What is this? Sarah whispered. Patience. Gunnar raised his hand. The crowd fell silent. 18 months ago, an 8-year-old boy ran across a parking lot to warn strangers about danger. He didn't know us, had no reason to help us, but he did it anyway, because it was right. Ethan stood straighter, his chest swelling with pride. That boy saved 8 lives, our lives, and in doing so, he reminded us what this club is really about. Not just brotherhood, not just loyalty, but honor, courage, doing what's right even when it's hard. Gunnar reached into his cut and pulled out something small, a leather patch. Ethan Riley, by unanimous vote of every Hells Angels chapter in Texas, you are hereby granted the title of Honorary Guardian. He handed the patch to Ethan. It showed a small angel wing spread standing guard over a motorcycle. This patch means you are under our protection. Forever. Wherever you go, whatever you need, the Hells Angels will be there. Ethan looked at the patch, then at his mother, then at Gunnar. Does this mean I'm part of the family? Son, you've been part of the family since the moment you opened your mouth and told us not to start our bikes. Ethan threw his arms around Gunnar. The old biker's eyes glistened. Thank you, Ethan whispered. Thank you, kid, for saving our lives, for reminding us who we are. Sarah wiped her tears. Cole held her close. The crowd cheered, engines revved in salute. And in that moment, surrounded by leather and chrome and the people who had become her family, Sarah Riley felt something she hadn't felt in years. Complete. 6 months later, Sarah became Sarah Cole. The wedding was held at the ranch. Simple, beautiful, perfect. Ethan served as ring bearer and best man and flower boy, trying all at once. He insisted on all 3 roles. Gunnar officiated. Turned out he'd gotten ordained online years ago as a joke. Now it came in handy. Do you, Cole, take this woman to be your wife, to love her, protect her, and put up with her when she's being stubborn? I do, especially the stubborn part. Sarah elbowed him. The crowd laughed. And do you? Sarah, take this man to be your husband, to love him, patch him up when he gets shot, and remind him daily that he's lucky to have you. I do, all of it. Then by the power vested in me by the internet and the great state of Texas, I pronounce you husband and wife. Gunnar grinned. Cole, kiss your bride before I change my mind. Cole swept Sarah into his arms and kissed her. The crowd erupted. Engines roared. Horns blared. Maggie cried. And Ethan stood between his new parents, grinning so wide his face hurt. He had a family again. A real one. 1 year later, Sarah stood in front of the mirror adjusting her blazer. You nervous? Cole asked from the doorway. Terrified. You'll be amazing. Today was the launch of the Ethan Riley Foundation, a nonprofit dedicated to helping children with autism and their families. Funded by donations from the Hells Angels chapters across the country, plus a massive settlement from Harrison Blake's seized assets. The program would provide therapy, education, and support for kids like Ethan. Kids who saw the world differently. Kids who needed someone to understand. Mom, Ethan called from downstairs. The cameras are here. Sarah took a deep breath, looked at her reflection. A year ago, she'd been a waitress struggling to survive. Now she was the founder of a foundation that would help thousands of children. All because her son had the courage to speak up. Ready? Cole asked. Ready. They walked downstairs together. The press conference was held on the ranch's front lawn. Reporters' cameras, community leaders, families with special needs children. Sarah stepped up to the podium. Thank you all for being here. A little over a year ago, my son Ethan did something extraordinary. He warned a group of strangers about danger even though he was terrified. He spoke up when it would have been easier to stay silent, and in doing so, he changed our lives forever. She looked at Ethan standing with Cole and Gunnar in the front row. Today, we launched the Ethan Riley Foundation. Our mission is simple: to support children with autism and show the world that being different isn't a weakness, it's the strength. Applause rippled through the crowd. Ethan sees things others miss. He notices details. He remembers everything. These aren't disabilities. They're superpowers. And every child deserves to know that their unique mind is a gift, not a burden. More applause, louder now. We'll be providing therapy services, educational support, family resources, and advocacy programs. But more than that, we'll be building a community, a place where kids like Ethan know they're not alone, where they're celebrated for who they are. Sarah paused. Her voice wavered. A year ago, I was terrified, broke, alone. I didn't know how we were going to survive. Then I met a group of people who taught me that family isn't about blood. It's about loyalty. It's about showing up. It's about protecting each other no matter what. She gestured to the Hells Angels standing in the crowd. These men and women, these scary bikers that society told me to fear, they saved our lives. They gave us a home. They became our family. And today they're helping us build something that will help families for generations to come. Ethan stepped forward. Sarah nodded. Her son walked to the podium, stood on his tiptoes to reach the microphone. Hi, I'm Ethan. I'm 9 now. I have autism and I'm really good at noticing things. Laughter from the crowd. Last year I saw a bad man doing something wrong. I was scared to say anything. But my dad, my first dad, who's in heaven now, he always told me that being brave means doing the right thing even when you're scared. The crowd fell silent. So I told the truth, and a lot of stuff happened. Good stuff and scary stuff. But in the end, the bad man went to jail and I got a new dad and a whole bunch of uncles and aunts who ride motorcycles. More laughter, some tears. If you're a kid like me and you feel different and people don't understand you, it's okay. You're not broken. You're special. You see things other people miss. That's not a problem. That's a gift. Ethan looked at his mother, then at Cole, then at the crowd. My first dad would be proud of me. I know because my mom tells me every night, and I'm proud of me too, because I didn't stay quiet. I spoke up, and that made all the difference. He stepped back from the podium. The crowd rose to their feet, standing ovation. Sarah swept Ethan into her arms, tears streaming down her face. Cole joined them. Gunner, Maggie, Razor, Hawk, Dutch, all of them, together, family. That night, after the cameras left and the guests went home, Sarah sat on the porch with Cole. The stars were out. The air was cool. Ethan was inside asleep, exhausted from the biggest day of his young life. Hell of a day, Cole said. Hell of a year. Any regrets? Sarah thought about it. The terror, the danger, the sleepless nights. The moment she'd pulled that trigger and taken a man's life. No, she said finally. Not one. Not even the part where you married a biker. Especially not that part. She leaned into him. You know what I keep thinking about? What? That night at Murphy's Diner, when Ethan ran across that parking lot, if he hadn't seen anything, if he'd stayed in the truck, none of this would have happened. You'd still be working double shifts, and you'd still be whatever you were before. Lost. Cole's voice was quiet. I was lost, Sarah, going through the motions, living for the club because I didn't have anything else to live for. And now I have everything. He kissed her temple. A wife, a son, a purpose. We found each other in the strangest way. The best things usually happen that way. Sarah smiled. You're getting philosophical in your old age. Must be your influence. They sat in comfortable silence watching the stars. Finally, Sarah spoke again. Cole, did you think David would approve of all this, of us? Cole was quiet for a moment. I never met him, but I know his son, I know his wife. And I know that any man who raised a kid like Ethan who loved a woman like you, he was a good man. The best kind of man. He was. Then I think he'd be happy. I think he'd look down from wherever he is and see his boy thriving, see his wife loved, see his family protected. Cole took her hand. And I think he'd say thank you for finishing what he started. Sarah's eyes filled with tears. I miss him. Still. I know, and that's okay. You can love someone you have lost and still love someone who's here. That's not betrayal. That's human. When did you get so wise, somewhere between getting shot and falling in love? Sarah laughed through her tears. I love you, Cole. I love you too, Sarah. Forever. Inside the house, Ethan lay in his bed, not quite asleep. He'd heard his parents talking on the porch. Not the words, just the murmur of their voices. Warm, safe, happy. He looked at the picture on his nightstand. His first dad, smiling in his uniform. I did good, didn't I? Ethan whispered. I was brave, just like you said. The picture didn't answer, but Ethan felt something. A warmth in his chest, a certainty. His dad was proud. He rolled over, clutching his honorary guardian patch, and closed his eyes. Tomorrow would be another adventure. But tonight he was home, and that was enough. 2 years later, the Ethan Riley Foundation had chapters in all 50 states. Over 10,000 children had been helped. Over 50,000 families had found support. The name Ethan Riley had become synonymous with courage, with hope, with the power of speaking up. Sarah ran the foundation full-time now. Cole handled security and outreach, visiting schools and community centers telling their story. And Ethan was 11 years old, growing tall, still noticing everything. He'd started speaking at schools, telling kids about autism, about courage, about the night he saved 8 bikers by refusing to stay silent. Every talk ended the same way. If you see something wrong, say something. Even if you're scared, even if people might not believe you, your voice matters. You matter. Don't ever let anyone tell you different. Standing ovations. every time. On the second anniversary of Blake's conviction, the family gathered at the ranch. Gunnar now fully retired tending his garden. Maggie spoiling Ethan rotten with homemade cookies. Razor and Hog teaching neighborhood kids how to safely maintain motorcycles. Dutch running a free chess club for at-risk youth. The Hells Angels had changed. Not completely, they were still bikers, still fierce, still protective of their own. But their reputation had shifted. They were known now for charity rides, toy drives, community service, all because of one little boy. Cole stood beside Sarah watching Ethan chase fireflies in the fading light. "You know what I realize," Cole said. "What?" "That night at Murphy's Diner, it wasn't an accident. It wasn't random. It was meant to happen. You, me, Ethan, all of it. You believe in fate now. I believe in family. I believe that sometimes the universe puts people together for a reason. And our reason was that kid right there." Sarah watched her son laugh carefree and happy, so different from the terrified boy who'd run across a parking lot 2 years ago. "He saved us all," she said softly, "not just from the brake lines, from ourselves, from our loneliness, from giving up. He's special." "He is," Sarah smiled, "but so are we. Now." Cole pulled her close. No regrets. Not a single one. The sun set over the ranch, painting the sky in shades of gold and crimson. Inside, Gunnar started up the grill. Maggie set out plates. The smell of barbecue drifted across the yard. Home. That's what this was. Not a place, not a building, a feeling, a certainty, a truth. Ethan ran over breathless and grinning. "Mom, Cole Gunnar says the burgers are almost ready. We're coming, baby?" Ethan grabbed both their hands and pulled them toward the house. Sarah looked at Cole. Cole looked at Sarah. No words needed. They walked into the light together. A waitress who became a warrior, a biker who became a father, and a boy who saw what no one else could see. They had found each other in the darkness, and together they had built something beautiful. Because that's what family does. That's what love does. That's what courage does. It doesn't just survive the storm. It becomes the light that guides others through. And in the end, that's all any of us can hope for. To find our people, to speak our truth, to never ever stay silent when it matters most. Ethan Riley was 8 years old when he saved 8 lives with 3 words. He was 11 when he realized those words had saved thousands more, and he was just getting started. Because heroes aren't born, they're made, one brave choice at a time.